Hi, my fellow Americans. I'm Dr. Stephen Clark Bradley, and this is what I think. We're going through a series of videos that are seeking to reveal to you what is being planned by the Democrat-Socialists after the election. They don't care if Donald Trump wins or loses. Either way, they plan on getting rid of him as president and never allowing him to take charge of a second administration. And we were going through all the different things where it's really started with COVID-19, with the Kung Flu, however you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Whatever pleases you, give it that name, because it came from China. And we don't know why it came from China. We know it's real. COVID is real. But why did it come? And we were talking about all the different things that have affected our society and our nation and our people as a result of trying to battle this terrible virus. And as a matter of fact, we have seen laws take effect and rules upon our people that are totally unconstitutional according to our U.S. Constitution, and unconstitutional for every state constitution, where they are forcing people really under house arrest. Really, you are under house arrest during this pandemic. You have been, I have been, and we have been told we can't do this, we can't do that. But they can do this and they can do that. Since when does the government have so much power to force us under house arrest when we've done nothing wrong? They want to take care of us. We don't need the government to take care of us. This has been used as the beginning, really, of a color revolution. And they have used all the wonderful things that President Donald Trump has tried to do to battle the COVID-19, the virus, and try to turn it against him. I can guarantee you, just like President Trump has said himself, on November 4th, everything will open up. Even some states have even put their schools opening up on the 4th of November, because this is all a pretext of what they're planning to do, and to bring us under control and to stop us from having the freedom. You know, once leaders take control of power and enrich their power and gain a foothold upon people's lives, they never give it up willingly. The scary thing is that if we don't have a president by January 20th, 2021, Nancy Pelosi becomes the acting president of the United States. I'm sure that thrills her a bit. It's the only way she'd ever be in the Oval Office. Now, can you imagine? The title would be acting president. Do you really think she would give that up easily? I'm sure she would find ways to do a 4-year term as an acting president. Acting is between quotation marks. She doesn't care. Even during the fake impeachment, after the House voted to impeach President Trump for doing nothing wrong, she managed to delay it and to find reasons to delay it. Unbelievable. So when we see this, what's going on, this is nothing but a power grab on the part of the Democrat-Socialists. And once they grab that power and hold on to it, they'll never let it go. The same thing during this election. Once they're able to, take Trump out of office even when he won re-election, and to call all these things fake that's going on, to say it was a fraudulent vote, they'll never give up their power. And I can guarantee you, even during the next election, they wouldn't give it up freely. They accused Donald Trump of not doing that. But they would be the ones who would not do it. They would be the ones. Do you remember Hillary Clinton said that Donald Trump will never accept the results of the election? Who wasn't the person? Who was the person who didn't accept the results of the election? Hillary Clinton herself. And she's still crying about it. She needs to take a walk in the woods, don't you think? I don't know, there's a lot of squirrels out there, and they like nuts. She may not survive it. But what are our natural rights? The Declaration of Independence speaks of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The U.S. Constitution and the Federalist Papers talked about freedom of religion, declare that we have the right to worship God or not to worship God, and to worship God freely, the God that we believe in, the faith that we follow. We have the right to property. the right to purchase what we want, to sell what we want, even if we don't need it. Yeah, we have the right to assembly, free assembly, the right to meet together, to give each other time together for whatever reasons we want. We don't need permission from the government to assemble together. Right now, think about it. If you're thirsty and you want some alcohol at nighttime, you can still freely go, with a mask on, of course, to a liquor store and you can buy the alcohol that you crave. But if it's Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, whenever your church meets, you cannot go there. All right? Because that's not essential. Liquor stores are essential. But your faith is not. And the most essential thing we have is our faith. You can abort your baby if you want to, because the right to kill your own child in the womb, or even out of the womb now, is essential. But the right to worship God is not. These are things that have been restrained from us. Our rights come from God. Our rights do not come from the government. The highest duty, the main duty of the government, is not to give us rights and then summarily take them away. The duty of the government is to protect the rights that we have naturally from birth from our God. He is the one that made us free, and is the government to protect those rights, not try to take them from us. We recall all the different things from our sacred document that are now being shredded, being corrupted. Our government is being corrupted. Freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, the right of property are things that we must maintain. We often think that we are free people because we banned slavery. That's true. We often think that we are free people because we can vote. And that's true. But even now, that's being taken away. And they're sending out, mail-in ballots because they don't want to let people go to the polling place to vote. These blue state governors, blue state mayors have taken upon themselves authority that they have no right to exercise and that must be taken from them. They have no right to be doing these things. Yes, because slavery is gone, we're free. Because we can vote, we can remain free. But what happens if you can vote, but all other rights are taken away from you that you're not able to practice because the government has this great idea of a nanny state that they want to take care of us? I don't need the government to take care of me. I can take care of myself, and you can take care of yourself. Probably the worst thing that's ever happened to Americans, black, white, Hispanic, is the government thinking that we need their help for everything, to make us totally dependent upon them. We have to say this: our federal constitution and most state constitutions affirm the right to assemble freely. Nothing can impede that. Nothing should be able to be. But almost nobody has risen up to fight it or to push back. When our rights of Americans to assemble peacefully are denied us, we are not free. Think about it. These people, these hoodlums, these domestic terrorists, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and others, they can march out in the street with no mask, arm in arm, a breath away apart from each other, and, that's essential, the right to protest. That's not a protest. They call them peaceful, violent protest. But they can march right up to you if you're eating at a diner outside and turn over your tables, threaten your lives, and try to force you to leave and make you leave. And that's never looked down on by the government. But you going out, going to church, worshiping your God, going to a park with your child to play, that's frowned on, and even you can be arrested for it. I saw the other day, a woman was playing with going to watch her son play a football game and sitting in the bleachers at her son's high school. And because she didn't have a mask on, the police handcuffed her, hauled her away with her screaming and kicking, with her rights being totally denied her. The government doesn't have the right to do that. You don't have to follow their orders. We have to refuse their orders from time to time, often much more than we do, because we run the government, not the government itself. They work for us. We do not work for them. When you can no longer decide to go to church or to stay home, you are no longer free. When domestic terrorists can go in a violent, peaceful protest and be freely unhindered by the law, and no one impede them, and they can burn down buildings, attack police, kill people, and attack you for eating at a diner without repercussion, believe me, the good people of this country are no longer free. When you cannot go to church, when your churches are being locked up, and when pastors can go to jail for allowing their services to go forward, you are no longer free. John MacArthur, a really wonderful pastor in California, excellent man, he has refused to obey the law of California, telling them that they cannot have any services in their building, and their services are still going on today. He's gone to court. Even court orders have ordered him to close, and he has refused, because we serve God rather than man. Better to obey God rather than man. Liberty means the right to assemble together. Liberty means for whatever purpose, peaceful reason that you choose, is your right to do so without seeking the permission of tyrannical leaders. We don't need their permission. Liberty means you have the right to join together for any reason, for fun, for serious, for business, for whatever, as long as it's peaceful and lawful. You don't need the permission of the government. These government officials have expediently taken power upon themselves. And believe me, once they have that power, they will not give it up freely. They will not. We have to fight back. You have a right to take your child to a park. Isn't that sad? To play with your child. You have a right to let your children play with your neighbor's children. You have a right to make those decisions for yourself. You don't need the permission of anybody to do so. That is our right as American citizens, as people under the U.S. Constitution, under your state constitution. They all read very similarly. These rights are not given to us by the government. They are maintained by the government and protected. As a result of state, elected and unelected officials, unfettered challenges to their autocracy, the right of assembly has been abolished because we have not stood up. I know as Americans, we try our best to cooperate and to do what's good for our fellow man and for our nation. But when we're being told to do things that are totally against the Constitution, totally against our natural rights, we have to refuse. We have to fight back. We have to be willing to say no. We will not submit to that. Our rights to assemble together for whatever reason it might be remain no matter they say they do not. We have to be willing to stand up and fight back. Are you? How important is your nation, is your republic? What are you willing to sacrifice to preserve it, to protect it, and defend it? Your freedom? Your money? Your life? I am, and I'm sure millions of you out there are as well. But if we don't do so, all this will be taken away from us. All of it. And we will not have the right to maintain it any longer. In the name of saving our lives, they are willing to destroy our lives. Think about it. They are willing to take your freedom, your ability to make your own decisions, your ability to assemble together, and they are willing to destroy that to preserve you. Is that really the kind of treatment that you want? Is that really something that you require? We need to tell them that we will not submit. We also have the right to property. We have the right to property. That means simply, in order to get the things that you need, and even the things that you don't need, okay, you have to have a job. You have to have the ability to go to a job. Your employer has to have the ability to keep their job open, which requires their workers to have the ability to go to work. We have shut down, we have shut down our economy so badly that some employers will never open up again. Donald Trump did what he had to do at the beginning. Do you realize it was supposed to be 14 days to squash the curve, right? And then it became 30 days. And that 30 days was about 5 months ago. It will never end unless we demand that it end. It will never stop unless we insist that it stop. That is our duty. We run the nation. And in this election, we need to be careful who we put back in power. For the people that we put in power will be the people that will either bless us and preserve us or destroy us. All of this is the beginning of this great color revolution that we're going to look at in the next video. And how they're going to use their plans to control us, to break us down, to be able to take over our nation and bring about a socialist state. This is not a joke. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the real deal. This is what the blue state leaders are doing, both the mayors, the governors, the congressmen, congresswomen who are with the Democrat-Socialists. They don't care about you. They don't want to protect you. They want to destroy your freedom. They want to control you. And they want to make us totally dependent upon them so that we have nothing that we can say. So as we go forward, we need to be willing to stand up, fight back, and to say no to the things that they're trying to do to us to limit our freedom. Freedom of religion has been downtrodden so badly. The right to the practice of one's faith is so important that it was put first of all in the Constitution. And the right to assembly. As a matter of fact, when they were debating about the right of free assembly in the Constitution, some of the leaders, some of the founding forefathers said, well, we don't need to put that in there because it's just understood that that right exists. Because in order to work, in order to go to school, in order to go to church, you have to have the right to assembly. But they knew that there would be people just like Joe Biden, just like Kamala Harris, just like Bernie Sanders, just like Nancy Pelosi and all that rot of vermin that are seeking to destroy our nation. They knew that at some point these people would rise up seeking to destroy us, seeking to kill us, and seeking to destroy our nation. I want to read something to you, and as I read it, I want to ask you to pledge yourself to it. I read a little bit of this in the first video, but I want you to listen to this, and as I do, take it to heart. And I'm asking you to pledge your devotion to these words because they are the words that I believe will keep our nation afloat and help our nation to expand and to grow and to prosper. And if we don't have this pledge, we will be defeated. We will be overrun. So as I read these, as I read these, please take them to heart and ask yourself, are you willing to pledge your honor and your devotion to what these words say? This is what the Democrat-Socialists have planned for our president and our republic, but they will see what we have planned for them. I pledge that we, the people, will stand with President Donald J. Trump and protect the man that we chose by the will of the American people. I pledge that as Donald Trump took what Obama's filthy mind and hands tore apart and reestablish it and restore it, that we will pledge to work with him and help him. All the division and corruption we see in the deep state, which was the remains of Barack Hussein Obama's infamous 8 years in office, These are the things that he tried his best to accomplish, to carry out the fundamental transformation of the United States of America into a socialist state. He was not able to complete it, but now we have to be willing to fight it. I pledge we will not let it come to fruition, because we are going to vote for President Donald J. Trump to keep America constitutional. If the left pours out into the streets and, as expected, seeking to start a revolution, we pledge with our president that we will see to it that they are put down by whatever means required. We pledge with President Donald J. Trump that we will restore America, and we will protect our president, our commander-in-chief, as his patriotic supporters. And we will defend, protect, and preserve the Constitution of the United States. And we will make sure that we have our president's back. No one will survive if they seek to commit treason against America and America's commander-in-chief. We pledge that we will make America greater than ever, but never according to Bernie Sanders, never according to AOC, and never according to the Democrat-Socialist Party. For they are treasonous and they are traitors, and we pledge to work against them. That we can pledge with our whole heart, and that's what the Second Amendment is all about. I hope the lefties, the Democrat-Socialists, comprehend what we're talking about. Otherwise, they are going to get the shock of their lives, and it will be the last shock they will ever experience. We need to stand up, fight back, and get rid of these rules and regulations that limit our freedom, and to have America brought to a state of normalcy. We need constitutional normalcy again. If Joe Biden wins this election, if Kamala Harris takes control of the White House, which she will, she'll be effectively the real president, then we know that our nation is gone forever. We must prevent it. Now you know, America. What will you do? In the next video, we're going to look at what a real color revolution is. So make sure you watch it. It's very important. We know this stuff's that when you go to the polling place, you know exactly who to vote for, why to vote for them, and why not to vote for the other one. Vote for Donald Trump. Give him your vote. He deserves it. And we know if we do, you're voting for America. Thank you so much.